that. All right, here we go. So welcome to our March 13th wellness workshop. We will be focusing on stress and sleep, but we will cover a lot of other things. For those who are on live, oh, and I'm going to get it in the Facebook group too. While I'm doing that, those who are on live, can you just put in the chat where you are hopping in from? What is your location? Live there. Florida, Kentucky, SoCal. Love it. All right, I'm in Utah, and we have several on the West Coast, Washington State, San Diego. Excellent. Welcome, welcome. In this class, the intention, especially for this class, is to give you some natural solutions for your health. We are going to be focusing on stress and sleep, overwhelm, but no, we will talk about other things. I had others who were talking about anxiety, depression, panic attacks, insomnia, others with immune, skin, hormones, aging, digestive, sleep, stress, concentration. So we're going to make sure that we cover any kind of questions that you have, things that are working for you, if you've been using certain things, if what's working for you. Love people sharing as well. Let me share my screen. We're going to get started here. So if you are either on online right now, or if you're on the Facebook or on the replay, will you just hop in there and just tell me what are some of the top things that you're dealing with right now? Like life changes. What are your top concerns, whether that's for you, yourself, or somebody in your household? Can you just put those in the chat? Because we want to make sure that we cover everybody that's on live, or if you're watching the replay and we don't cover something in there, we want to make sure, because we're all dealing with stuff, right? And I'm trying to see where my chat, there we go, somewhere here. Okay. Type it in, anxiety, hormones. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I turned 50 this year. Family members with broken ribs. That's not fun. Stress, sleep issues, stress, high blood pressure, low energy. Okay. All of these are common, not so much the broken ribs, but most of these are common things that we deal with. So we're going to talk about stress and why this is such a problem, right? So when we are, and we're not talking about like just occasional stress. We all have stress, but especially when it goes prolonged stress, then we start seeing some not so good things happen. It can be disruptive to your sleep. It can, and then it talks about leaving you exhausted and irritable. Anyone like that? I remember like, especially when my kids were little, that was me, like chronic stress, lack of sleep, chronic irritability. Is that a disease? Anyone. It can cause mental health issues. It can cause like stuff to go on in your brain so you don't have that focus, that clarity. Of course, it saps your energy because when our stress levels are high, it's causing our body to go into overload. Like it's working to do different bodily things that we do when we're stressed. And so you are depleting your energy when you're in a chronic state of stress. And then, just really thinking about some of the most important things in our life are the people, the relationships that we have, and stress definitely impacts those relationships, right? From a medical standpoint, when you look up stress and some of the manifestations of stress, these are just some of the common ones. There are so many more, but how many of you, raise your hand or put in the chat, how many of you have anything on there? Headaches, migraines, muscle tension, fatigue, metabolic syndrome, maybe gaining weight, hormone imbalance, nerve dysfunction, depression, inflammation. So many things can be caused by stress. And generally when we go into a doctor, and I'm not like, I know there's a need for traditional medical doctors, right? I was just there with my daughter getting an x-ray on her knee, making sure there wasn't anything broke. I don't know of anybody else that like I can go and verify that, but I'm gonna go get x-rays, right? But oftentimes when you go in there, you might have like like go back to that list. You might go in there for headaches, migraines, some aches and pains, right? And generally you'll come out of there with some kind of medication that will combat that one thing. But that might not be the root cause. Like, what's the root cause of the headache, the hormone imbalance, the nervous system dysfunction? What's the root cause? And that's something, that's why I love doTERRA. That's why I love essential oils, is because it can help get to the root cause of those things. Sometimes we don't know that stress is what's causing the stomach upset, is causing some of those other chronic issues going on. But as we can evaluate and kind of, put on a scale from 1 to 10 with how high your stress levels are, if we're seeing those consistently at a higher level, you have to know that that is coming into play into your health, whether that's physical or emotional health, and then definitely into your relationships. So oftentimes what traditional health care approach is that we're going to manage the symptoms. We're going to just put a Band-Aid on something, right? And that was the case with my daughter. So she had, her knee was hurting and went in. There was nothing like physically wrong, nothing broke, chipped off in there. And so the doctor just basically said, take some ibuprofen, right? Take some ibuprofen. That was the solution. And then we go to a chiropractor and find there's some things that out of alignment in her knee. And so he was able to get more to the root cause of that pain, right? By helping the knee get back into alignment so that there wasn't that discomfort that ibuprofen wasn't going to fix. It was just going to mask it, right? So again, like the same thing with stress. If stress is one of our root causes of these other things, we want to get to being able to manage stress more effectively. So tell me on here, what are some of the causes of your stress? You can either put it in the chat or unmute. Just go ahead and shout them out. Like, what are some of the causes of your stress right now? If you're able to share. Work can cause stress for sure.
Plumbing issues.
Plumbing issues.
Major plumbing issues.
Right? Like things like that come up.
Yeah.
Yes, we have money, kids, house on the market, right? Janice was just talking about, oh, as soon as I get the house sold, that, I won't be so stressed. Food can cause you stress. Maybe you want to elaborate on that, Allison. If you're able to, you're welcome to unmute and elaborate on food stress. And welcome, Lily. I see you joined. Hey, Lily. I'll kind of take that. Like, there's lots of different things with food stress, and I don't know if this is what you're meaning, but the foods we eat can cause stress. We can
just how much everything costs with food. Like food is so expensive, so it's causing stress just to be able to pay for those things.
Right? Yes. Definitely has gone up. Gas prices have gone up. Energy prices, home, like running your home, like everything's gone up. So that is definitely a source of stress. Other things that cause us stress on our bodies that we might not even be aware of are some things that we're going to talk about in here. And we really do we have these kind of two forms of stress. We have stressors that we can control, like we might be able to do something to eliminate some kind of stress, right? So the house gets sold, things are different, the stress level go down, right? There's other things in our life that we may not be able to control. There's circumstances that will come up, like the plumbing, like those things come up. You're going to have stressors that come up. I can't change the food prices. Like, I don't know how I can do that. So there's things that will cause us stress that we can learn how to manage. Like, even though circumstances around us are going crazy, how we can manage the inner part of us, right? And so we're going to talk about some of those things that we have control over, things that we can do to help us to take responsibility for how we react to these stressors that most of them oftentimes are not even within our control, right? So I do want to bring this to your awareness, and we talk about this probably every single class, is this wellness pyramid, because there's different aspects of wellness that are within our control that can impact our health, our physical health, our emotional health, how we deal with stress, how we manage stress. And so we're going to talk briefly about nutrition, digestion, and metabolism, and how those, like when these are in place and working for us, it actually helps us to manage stress better. That we're able to do that, whether physically our body's able to manage stress better, or emotionally or mentally we're able to handle those things that come our way a whole lot better. The number one cause of disease is nutrient deficiencies. And I do want to address, like, the number one nutrient that most people are deficient in is water. So if nothing else, the one thing you are going to take away from this is that if you can increase your water intake, when you look at that, 75% of Americans are chronically dehydrated. This is not just like after a workout. This is like chronically dehydrated. And when we are dehydrated, our bodies are not functioning optimally. You may not see that immediately, but for sure, we do not manage stress as well as we could if our bodies were hydrated. So the first thing I recommend to people is, like, let's get that in place. If nothing else, work on that habit of increasing your water intake. The goal is to drink half of your body weight in water each day. So if you weigh 150 pounds, you would drink around 75 ounces of water. Some
Half
tips.
your body weight in ounces.
In ounces. Yeah, not pounds, like not 75 pounds of water. Yes, and my friends in the UK, you use pounds too. Okay. Metric system, I just don't know how to convert that. So weight in pounds, ounces in water. So here's just some simple tips that can help you to increase your water intake. Like, maybe just get a water bottle. This one's like 40 ounces. So if I weighed 150 pounds, 2 of these would be sufficient. I need to make sure that I'm drinking at least 2 of those every day. Drink first thing in the water. You might even just have a glass of water or your water bottle right by your nightstand. When you get up, like, you drink some of that, right? Just putting some of these little habits in place, using your phone, setting alarms, trying to drink less sugary drinks. But there is a study done that we actually drink more water if it's flavored. And so one of the simple hacks that you can do, besides getting a water bottle and filling it up, is putting some essential oils in your water. So citrus oils are great. I don't know if you can see that, if it's even big enough, but I love lemon. I love tangerine, grapefruit. These flavor your water, but they also help gently detox some of those toxins that are also causing your body stress. Depending on what your flavors are, you can switch that up. If you're needing a little pick-me-up, you can put some peppermint in there. That will wake you up. So there's just some options there, right? So number 1, water. Number 2 is most of us are deficient in some really important nutrients. 95% of people are deficient in vitamin D. And especially think about all of us who are in the winter, we don't get much sun. We mostly get that from synthesis from being in the sun. And so otherwise, we don't really get it. Vitamin E, magnesium is a huge one as well. Just thinking about these, and if you want to go do your homework, you can go Google, what are some of the impacts of not getting enough vitamin D or magnesium or vitamin A, calcium, right? And these are across the board, right? Most people are deficient in these. And when we are deficient, again, it causes stress on our bodies. It's going to make it harder for us to deal with stressors. So be mindful of that. And the other one is toxins. So making sure we're getting enough, but also being able to eliminate, detox from things that we're exposed to, eliminating some toxins so that we're not so exposed to. So just be kind of keeping those things in mind, that toxins play a huge part on how we manage stress. So if we're using a lot of chemicals, like in our cleaners, if we're using those Airwigs, Glade plugins, a bunch of synthetic perfumes and fragrances, and we're smelling those in, it's going to create a toxic load on our body that makes it harder for us to manage stress effectively. I mean, these seem like little things, and you might not put them together. Joel, do you have something to add to that? See your hand up.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What's the mother/parental thing on the bottom of the bucket?
The mother prenatal.
Prenatal.
Prenatal, oh, okay, I'm not reading it right. Okay.
Yep. So like this is meaning you might have become exposed to toxins from your mom, right? From what she was doing,
Oh,
what she was
okay,
eating,
okay,
what she was
okay.
exposed to, right? Because
Right.
there are so many toxins that are found in breast milk and then also in like the umbilical cord that those things are passed on to a baby. And just think of the size of a baby. And if we were that baby, you know, what was the impact on us? So just being mindful of those things. And a lot of people will look to supplement, which is really important to be able to get enough nutrients in our bodies. But the problem with nutrients or supplements these days is that you just don't really know what you're getting. So there was a study, 776 dietary supplements were tested and found to be contaminated with toxins. So here you are, you're trying to take things that are good for you, but you're actually creating a bigger problem. And a lot of times they don't contain what they say they contain. So even like the 3 leading memory supplements, when they were tested, 2 of them didn't even have the active ingredient in there. So sometimes we're taking things that either are harmful for us or they're not doing what we think they should. And so that was one of the reasons why doTERRA put together, they have a lifelong vitality supplement. How many use that who are on here? I know a lot of you do. And so this is doTERRA's #1 product. So most people come to doTERRA for essential oils. That's what we are known for. But their #1 product is the Lifelong Vitality Supplement. It's a bottle of 3 different things that helps you get all of your vitamins and minerals in a whole food form, omegas that we need for proper functioning of our brains, our hearts, just so many different things that we probably aren't getting in our food. And then a lot of antioxidants that help with that cleansing process of the toxins that we're exposed to on a regular basis. You're also getting essential oils right in there that are great for inflammation. They're great for the pain. They're great for mood support. They're great for energy. And so that's what most people experience when they use them. I'm not going to go into those. If anybody wants to share their experience with it, or you can read the ones that are on here. But most people who use them are able to manage their stress better. They get better sleep. Like this one lady, I have noticed improvements in my sleep, my energy levels, my digestion, my mood, my pain levels, my hair and nail growth, and my overall life experiences. That's awesome. Right? So these are some of the things that can support us in being able to manage stress. Like I said, when there's a lot of things we just can't control. And
That was great on the bottom, on the right. Her migraines were gone.
migraines.
Yeah.
And anybody that struggles with migraines or any kind of chronic pain, like how life-changing is that? Because migraines is a stress.
Yeah.
Chronic pain is a stress. Not just like a physical stressor, but it causes a lot of emotional stress to be dealing with that. Lily asked, how many are needed to be taken daily? So in that bottle, the recommended dose, and this is what I recommend people starting with, but you can tailor it to your needs, is 2 of each of these bottles with 2 different meals. So like breakfast, you take 2 of each of those. And then with lunch or with dinner, you take your second dose. They are broken up into 4 capsules, would be the full dose of each one each day. But you can take less. And there's times when I've taken more. So that's nice that they're in those capsules. But there is a 30-day money back guarantee. So my experience with them is back like 15 years ago, I was struggling with chronic migraines, low energy. I was having miscarriages, chronic sinus infections, and just kind of went the traditional route of go to the doctor, take some things, try this, and nothing seemed to be working. And Dr. Hill, he's one of the owners of doTERRA. I went to an event and he talked about these and talked about how it impacts your hormones, how it impacts your mood, your pain, your emotional well-being. And he said there's a 30-day money back guarantee. Because I was like super skeptical. I had tried so many different things. And so when he said that, I'm like, well, okay, so I could take these, see if they work, see how I feel. And if I don't, I can actually return them completely empty and get my money back. And so that was what I was expecting to do. But I've been on them for 15 years because of how I feel. And also just that comfort that I know what I'm getting. So it's validated. What I like is what's in there is third-party tested. We know that what you're getting is what it says is on there. And then from like, this is just one of the clinical trials that they did, how it impacted your blood sugar levels, your blood lipids, your cardiovascular markers. And I love this over here. People who were using it overall had better mental clarity, more energy, motivation, control, balance, happiness. So if we're talking about stress, right? Number one, get hydrated, get that habit in place. Make sure you're taking a good supplement that's going to help your body be able to do what it's capable of doing. Like, we all have stress. There's just seems like there's some people who can manage it really well. Part of that, I think, is because of the habits that they have in place. One of them, nutrition. Another thing with this is it's not just getting the nutrients into our body. We actually have to be able to break down those nutrients so our bodies can absorb them. And one thing that we start lacking in, especially as we grow older because we produce less and less, is digestive enzymes. So if we don't have enough digestive enzymes to break the food down that we're eating and the different things that we're consuming, then our body can't even use them. They just pass through us. And so I love this product. It's called Terrazyme, and this has been phenomenal for so many people at helping with that digestive piece of this whole thing. And so you want to make sure you're getting the nutrients, you're able to digest them. And then another thing that you want to think about is having a really good probiotic. And this one is amazing. It's doTERRA's PB Restore. It just came out in September, but it has probiotics, prebiotics. The prebiotics help to protect the probiotics so they can get down in the gut where they need to be to replenish and repopulate all the good probiotics in our gut. But also we have microbiome all throughout our body, and that's what's in this. So most probiotics are very targeted to like gut health, but this one is full body probiotics. So it's helpful for your skin, helpful for your brain, helpful for your cardiovascular system, for your gut health. So this is another one I would highly recommend giving it a try. Anybody want to add on there? Jill, see your hand up.
Yeah, isn't this kind of like a whole new approach to the microbiome with this product? I don't know that any other companies even doing this.
No, and like there is a whole on doTERRA's website. If you have an account, you have access to, there's a microbiome like course because there's just so much research that's been coming out on the impact that this has on us, and that we haven't even really recognized the impact on our emotional health and our ability to manage stress. So people who were doing the study with this trial study, that was probably the biggest surprise to them, was the impact on their mood and emotions by taking this. When they were thinking it was going to be like some gut thing, right? Like helping things flow better and repopulate in there. So that's available to people who have a doTERRA account, that you can go in there. If you want to nerd out, for sure, you could definitely nerd out. Lily said, how many are needed to be taken daily? So it really depends. I recommend at least one a day is sufficient. If you have other chronic needs that you're working on, you can up that. I know that I was working with a functional medicine doctor, and she had me taking 2 a day because I had some testing come back with some like parasites and some other stuff, right? So she's like, up it, let's do this. But for the most part, it's just 1 a day. And Dr. O, who is one of the medical professionals in doTERRA, has recommended that you take it with food. So I always just kind of make it part of that habit. I take my Lifelong Vitality and my Terrazyme and PB Restore like with my first meal. And then with my second meal, I don't take PB Restore, but I just take my Lifelong Vitality. And with most meals, I take Terrazyme. I'm just in the habit of doing that. Anybody else do that? All right. So hopefully that helps on the question on that. And then just another thing to be thinking about before we're going to jump into essential oils and some of the like skills that we can learn to manage stress. So only 6.8% of the US adult population has optimal cardiometabolic health, which means that most people are carrying too much weight, have high blood glucose levels, have high blood lipid levels, blood pressure that's out of range, and or a history of cardiovascular events. So whether this is you, your parents, your spouse, your kids, your grandkids, or your best friend, this will impact everyone. I know my dad died of a heart attack when he was 52. I was like 20 something, right? And this is a big issue, big concern. And so one of the things that doTERRA came out with, and I love this, it's their MetaPower system. And I'm only going to talk about one of the products in here, but there is an essential oil that's called MetaPower. And it's in all of the products. And then there's one that's called Advantage, which is a collagen NMN drink. It's like a powdered drink, which I'm going to talk a little bit more about. And then there's one that's called Assist, which you take with meals to help with your blood sugar regulation. So I want to share this. So this is one of my friends. So she's been using this system. You can see from September to November, it's 30 days, like a huge difference in her weight. Stress was her biggest culprit with the weight. Like she had come out of COVID, right? Like many of us do, and had put on extra weight. And a lot of it had to do with stress. And so she started using the MetaPower system, was able to see the decrease in her stress levels, which then the weight followed, right? And that was one of the things that she mentioned in here. You're welcome to screenshot if you want to read her whole thing. Or this isn't her thing. This is actually another one of my friends who was surprised. She posted this. She said that her Instagram account got hacked, and she's normally a huge stressor. Like she does not manage stress at all very well. And she said like she had been using the MetaPower system, and that was the one of the things that she was surprised about, that she didn't spin out of control. She's like, I can definitely say that this is not my norm. I'm typically a reactor, and then when I calm down, I can get a grip. Y'all, I had a grip from the moment it happened. So I love that. Just think like that was not the reason why that system was created, but it is something that, again, foundationally can help support you. And I'll talk about what it is in just a second. So this is Dr. Ashley Anderson. And do you remember what kind of doctor she is? Is she a pediatrician or a women's health? I cannot remember.
Yeah, I think pediatrician.
Pediatrician. Yeah. And she's been using the system as well. Said she hadn't been under 200 pounds in 5 years and started using the MetaPower system. She lost 12 pounds in her first 30 days. And I love this. Mommy brain has gone away. Again, like the mental health, mental clarity, focus, the metabolic energy that is created from this product is phenomenal in what it can do. So basically what it is, there's a bunch of different products in it, but the two we kind of focus on, one is collagen, which there is kind of a craze on collagen. And generally that collagen is very focused for the collagen needed in our skin and hair and nails, or that impact that, right? But this has 9 different types of collagen that aren't just good for those areas of your body, but you'll see that there's people who have had graying hair and it starts lightening up, or their skin is tighter, they're looking better that way. But this collagen helps with your joints, your muscles, different parts of our body that need collagen, that as we age, we produce less and less collagen. So unless we supplement, you're going to start seeing a breakdown of different parts of your body, and it plays a part in your mental health. So that being said, there's another product called NMN. If you haven't heard of this, it's the second most prevalent molecule in our body, second to water. So we just talked about hydration, how important that is. NMN is just as important, because if we don't have the NMN, we actually die. And so we produce NMN, but as we age, again, we start producing less and less. And this is what helps convert food to metabolic energy. So if you're seeing fatigue, you're seeing a lack of energy, you're seeing a lack of focus, NMN is huge when we're able to supplement to help. It's a precursor. It's actually NAD. Sorry, I said that wrong. NAD is the second largest molecule in our bodies, NAD. NMN is a precursor. It's needed in order to produce this NAD. So that's why when people take this, they start having more energy, they start feeling better. There are, there's impact on different aspects of our life. But what's cool is it starts working where you need it. So if you're having issues like in certain areas of your body, that's generally what will start being worked on first. And then there's other side effects of that. So just wanted to give a plug. Anybody want to say anything about that, or any questions about this? Usually just take it once a day. You just mix it with a little bit of water. You can do it in a little shaker bottle or one of those little, whatever, frother things. and just drink it. Anything to add?
Okay, well, I have to say something. I have to say
Yeah.
something because I'm witnessing the effect of it. Like Faye has been off of her exercise schedule for about the last 6 months maybe,
Yeah.
but she has not gained weight at all. I mean, she's just staying at a very healthy low weight. It's kind of amazing given, you know,
The change, yeah. And
I've
so
been changing
for those who
exercise
don't know,
about it.
Faye had a fall, and so she's not been able to do certain things, like a major thing, like hip issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so
Not the fall, but the
Well, and not only that,
fact that it's working that well.
the bone has healed much quicker than what the doctor anticipated, right? So it is pretty amazing, like you said. It goes to where the body needs it. And there's a lot of things you might not feel the difference, but it's working, right? And I know you have like lab results, people
right.
that
So
show the difference. And for others, it's more things. For me, because I was able to get x-rays, I saw how quickly the bone was healing. So pretty amazing.
yeah, so there's people who have had like blood pressure, blood lipids. Weight is an obvious one, but there's other things like as we doing the blood work to see the difference. It's pretty cool. So again, just talking about how foundationally, when we are taking care of getting the nutrients, when we're able to digest them, when we have things that are supporting our metabolism, our metabolic health, that we can manage stressors better. And this other one, movement, is a huge thing. If we aren't exercising, and it doesn't have to be exercise, it's basically moving your body. That movement, that walking, that getting outside, those things help with managing stress. So that might be another thing. If it's not a habit that you have in place, that could be something that you add. And you might think, oh, that's another stress. I'm stressing about exercise. 10 minutes of walking after you eat, like just make it little, but the habit can help to relieve stress. So we are going to move into essential oils unless there's any other questions or thoughts around what we've covered there. Okay, so number one, you have to understand that not all essential oils are created equal. So all my friends who are going to be watching this replay, I had a phone call today with someone. She was talking about how she had ordered copaiba. So it's an oil that doTERRA has. We'll talk a little bit about it in a minute. But she had gotten it because she wanted the smell a certain way. She'd gone down to Mexico and there was a copaiba tree and she saw the resin and she thought of how it smelled and she's like, oh, when I got copaiba from doTERRA, like it didn't smell the same. So I don't think it's going to do the same thing. And so she was kind of concerned. And then I had to educate her on, well, you can't tell the effectiveness of an essential oil by the smell of it. You actually have to do third-party testing on it to see what are the actual chemical constituents in that essential oil. And is it natural? Was it created in a laboratory? Does it have the chemical profile that would, for instance, lavender is very calming if you have the right chemical profile. If it's made in a laboratory, if it just smells like lavender, it's not going to be calming. It's not going to be the same things. Well, interesting. There was a university who was wanting to do research on essential oils to see if like this was a fluke. Do they actually work? There's a huge craze about essential oils. And so Roseman University had bought most of the major brands of essential oils and they did testing on it. And this is what they said, that doTERRA oils were found to be therapeutically relevant in cell growth and rejuvenation, metabolic health, healthy inflammatory response, and that essential oils from different competitors had minimal effects. To me, that's huge. doTERRA didn't even know this was going on. Roseman University came to doTERRA and showed them the results of this. Now, doTERRA already knew this because we do things differently here. We don't put fillers, no synthetics, no dilutions. We don't try to hide things. These come straight from the plants. They are third-party tested with over 54 tests to validate that they're pure and that they're potent. And every single bottle, so this is what I was telling her, every single bottle has a quality number on it. And you can go to source2me.org or source2me.com. You correct me, whoever put it in the chat, whichever, and you take that number.com on the bottom and you put it in there, and it will show you the exact study that was done, the results from it, what chemical constituents in there, how much are in there. It's pretty phenomenal. You will not find that with any other essential oil company because they can't verify that what they have, every single bottle, is pure. Most companies, what they do is they will do some testing on a batch of it. Okay, this is good to go. And then they start bottling. But that does not mean that they're testing every single batch. And most of them do not know where they come from. They buy them from an intermediary that supplies multiple companies of essential oils. So just know doTERRA is different. You are going to get, so what I talk from this point on about what essential oils can do and how to use them, this is specific to doTERRA essential oils.
Yes, and that's the point I was going to make. We get the oils directly from the growers to the distillers, to the labs to be tested, where most other companies use brokers, sometimes multiple brokers. And so really have no idea of the source or what's been done to the oil in between.
Yes.
And that's a huge difference.
Yeah. And that's like people, because of technology, because we can know on the ground what's going on, more people are wanting to know, like, where did this come from? Where was it sourced? Was it sustainably sourced? Was it used by like child labor? Like, was it treated with like terrible chemicals, right? So this is basically saying, like, my shirt, they can trace it all the way back to every single piece of manufacturing that it's done, that they know along the way. Because doTERRA knows, like you were saying, from when it's planted, where it's planted, who's growing it, and all of that. And then you have science to validate what's actually in the bottle, right? So I love that. And here's the thing, like when they are 100% pure, they're tested, and they're potent, that you're not going to have crazy things like this happen. So this is just a couple of sisters who went to grandma's house. They had lavender put on their chest, which they normally would do, but grandma didn't have her doTERRA lavender. She just had a bottle that she bought from the health food store, put it on their chest, and it actually gave them chemical burns. So things like that happen, can happen, but they don't happen with doTERRA oils. Another thing with doTERRA oils is that you can take them internally if it says for internal use on the bottle. Most essential oils, they say not for internal use. You'll have aromatherapists who like freak out when you say, yeah, you're using that internal? No, it's not safe. Well, most likely, and in the past, it's been that essential oils, you just didn't know if they were pure enough to consume. But we know from third-party testing, from science, from research, from millions of people who are using these, how effective they can be using them internally. Now, not all of them are said to use internally. Most of them are, but it will be right on your bottle. It will tell you if you can use it internally. Another thing with this is that even though like you might be able to go to like Whole Foods or Walmart or Amazon and buy an essential oil online and it's going to be cheaper, like frankincense you can get for like $15 on Amazon. The problem with it is synthetic. It's not going to do what you want it to do. And even if it were like partly essential oil, you're paying mostly for dilution. So like Costco's peppermint was tested and it did not contain, it said it was labeled 100% pure, but it contained only 10% peppermint in it. The rest was diluted. So you would have to buy 10 peppermint bottles from Costco to be equal to one of doTERRA peppermint bottles. And I don't know if it's like $25-ish is peppermint. So, and even if Costco's was 5, 10 of those is $50, right? And then we just use a small amount when we're using them. So usually 1 to 3 drops is a dose. So for like an ear infection, we've not had to use antibiotics. In the 15 years that we've been using essential oils, we haven't had to, like, our normal thing with our 6 kids has been, before essential oils, was take them to the doctor. They usually would give an antibiotic. For an ear infection, we use lavender and tea tree oil. Cost us less than $1, usually within 24 hours. I don't have to go anywhere. So it saves me a ton of time and money. And so you have to kind of see like how cost effective it is to have like solutions right in your home, right? I won't talk about that. We're going to skip on. Okay, so there's 3 different ways that we can use oils. One is aromatically, so that's breathing them in. And this is probably the most effective way and the fastest way to impact those stress levels, the mood and emotion, because when we breathe them in, they attach to receptor sites in our brain that impacts our mood and emotion, just like that. It's not like you're taking a pill and it's getting dissolved and then going in your bloodstream and then working its way to your brain, right? You're immediately breathing that in. And generally when we're teaching classes in person, we'll pass around like wild orange. And every time people will just smell that, it puts a smile on their face. Like it's immediate because that's how fast it will impact you. So you can just smell it from the bottle. You can put it in a diffuser and have that running. Just inhale it. Like I have little inhalers. You can create your own little inhalers. The second is topical. So you put it on wherever it might make sense. So if like you have arthritis or you have like stomach discomfort, you can rub them on where it makes sense. And you can dilute it with fractionated coconut oil or some other oily based substance. And then the third one, like I talked about, is internally. If it's labeled for internal use, then that's something you can do. You can put it in water. You could put them in some veggie caps. You open those caps, put a couple drops in and take it just like a capsule. Put some drops under your tongue. Some of them don't taste so yummy, so that's why the veggie cap sometimes works better. But it is probably the most potent way to use essential oils. So when I have somebody that's dealing with, say, for instance, immune support needs, there's lots of that's been going on. Oftentimes the internal use is one of the most powerful ways that you can use them. So these are just some immune support oils. You can take a screenshot or catch the replay on this, but these are ones I would not go without in my home. Like all the stuff that comes up, these are the different ones that are kind of in the top 10 of essential oils. Because we're not talking specifically about that, but I know there were some on the replay that wanted to know what the oils were. I would say have an oregano, tea tree, On Guard is a blend that doTERRA makes. It's the #1 selling essential oil that doTERRA has. So if you want one, at least get that one, right? And then frankincense, great for more than just immune support, but it's on there. It's also great for stress and anxiety and stuff.
And all 4 together, including lemon, right, makes a powerful immune support, immune boost.
Yes, we call it flute because that's the letters of all the things, so you can remember it. Frankincense, lemon, O is for oregano, and On Guard, and T is for tea tree. And you can blend those together. You can put it in a roller bottle. I have been doing this because there's been so many people with COVID around that I'm around. And they're like getting sore throats. I don't know if you've had that and you've had people like strep throat. Every morning, I just put that exact blend on my glands. Like, I'm just going to protect, like be proactive, but we put it in water, we gargle it. You can put it in your diffuser and diffuse it. You can put it in a veggie cap and take it internally. So you can get it all, 3 different ways. It's really good to have on hand.
Right. And what was really nice, doTERRA made soft gels with a combination to make it easier. Like you have options. You can make your own veggie capsule with all of those, or take the On Guard soft gel.
Right. Yep. I'm not going to cover these, screenshot it, but things to have in your medicine cabinet for sure: lavender, lemon, peppermint, digest and breathe. Going to help with respiratory stuff, digestive stuff, energy, focus. That one for my college students who are studying, and I think Jade, you're going to watch the replay. This is one you will want to have on hand when you're studying, when you need that pick me up. That it just opens your blood vessels. It's a vasodilator, so you're getting more oxygen. So this is great for your brain, like a stimulation that is natural, so you don't have the side effects. It's great for athletes. And then your lavender if you need calming, stress relief, be able to go to sleep. Great for burns, cuts, antihistamine. Yeah, super awesome. And then quickly before we get to like our stress stuff, if you have any kind of pain or inflammation, these are your go-tos. Would be the deep blue rub. A lot of people use and they don't even know if it's from doTERRA. Like I mean, like, yeah, when you say it, like, oh, I know that stuff. Oh yeah, my mom. Oh, I play college basketball or football or whatever. Yeah, we have it in the locker room. So this is just something you can rub on. It's great for pain, inflammation, and copaiba is another great anti-inflammatory, but it is also another one that is great for anxiety, for stress relief. And so you can put that on, you can put it in your diffuser, works amazing. Okay, so we are going into mood, emotions, and sleep. And what I want to say, one of the simplest tools that you can have if you're dealing with stress, with overwhelm, one of the most powerful tools you can have is just to take a pause, right? Pause, deep breathing. And one of the things that's helpful with the oils is that you're doing that pause and maybe you're just pulling out one of those oils. Adaptive is great for anxiety, especially if you have that forward thinking stress, like of the future of what it could be. Like, it's bad, it's scary, like this could happen, that could happen. If those are the thoughts going through your head, adaptive is your girl. So pull that up to your nose and just open the bottle and breathe it while you're taking those deep breaths. It creates that mindfulness that just taking a pause, it kind of gives us our body's time to slow down from that like fight or flight, just that natural reaction to things. And some of us are more reactive than others. So if you're very reactive, it's creating the new habit of like, when I'm feeling this, I know, just grab the bottle and breathe, right? Just grab the bottle and breathe. You can also be proactive in knowing like there might be stressful times, stressful moments, and you're diffusing all the time, or before the kids come home, or when those stressful moments are, you're putting in those oils into your diffuser and you're diffusing. There is a chemical reaction that happens within your body when you breathe the oils in that will help you to deal with stress better. Balance is another great one. It's a very grounding blend. So if you're more wanting like the groundedness, you feel like, oh, I'm all over the place, or you're dealing with depression, this is a really good oil to have. Again, you can put it in your diffuser. You can put it on your body, on your pulse points, on the back of your neck. Just put some on your chest. You can put it on the bottom of your feet. And then Serenity is our restful blend. So this is like thinking shutting off the chatter. If you're having a problem sleeping, there's the Serenity blend you can put in your diffuser as well. But there's also capsules that are like an herbal formula. Oh my gosh, they're my they're my go-to. Ever since kind of going into this hormone change and perimenopause, like I've never had a problem with sleep. With 6 kids, like you're exhausted, you just conk. And then I'm like, what's going on? I can't sleep. And it's frustrating. All of you know. And your body heals and repairs while you're sleeping. So if you don't get that deep, restful sleep, you're going to see some of the side effects of that. Again, it is causing stress on your body from not having the sleep. And so that's been my go-to. Others just love the Serenity diffusing it. But just know that those are options for you, some of the more common options. And I want to bring this up. Anybody tried it? I love this oil. Okay. Oh, and I wish that we could be together. If there was some way of having a 4D class, like or something like I could go into the class, this is the oil that I would bring into your living room, into your bedroom, into your home. So Shinrin Yoku is Japanese forest bathing. And so in Japan, they have these forests that have been designated for going in and you shut off your electronics, you just shut off your stuff and you go in there and they call it forest bathing. And it's just this time to be able to breathe in nature. There's chemical constituents within the forest that are different in the city, different within our home, that are very grounding, very de-stressing. And so you go in there and you're breathing this in and you're shutting things off. And you might just be like meditating, contemplating, just taking time for you to relax, right? Not all of us can just go to the forest. Like ours right now is frozen. I don't want to be out there causing me stress, right? But there's other times where I'm like, yes, it's so nice to get out and do my nature walks. You might live in a city, you might be just super busy. So this oil is phenomenal because they created it. They actually tested the air samples in Japan in these forests, and we're finding the natural chemical constituents which were in the air. And then they formulated this essential oil blend, Shinrin Yoku, to be very similar. And so this is something that you can do to kind of do forest bathing, to just have that moment of relaxation. And every time we do this in a live class, there's often people who will be crying, and everyone, like, they always talk about how impactful this is. So you can put this into your diffuser, you can put it like under your nose, but it's great for mental health. It's great for like physically de-stressing from things going on. So I hope I've convinced you, like, y'all want to try this, right? If you don't have a bottle of this, I love this oil. Anybody else want to add to that? Like who's used it, experienced it? Anyone?
I love it also, to be honest. It's just a great oil for enhancing the mood of wherever you're at. I don't know about you, but I just feel so relaxed when we,
It's like bringing that forest
yeah.
Yep,
into your home, right?
Yeah.
exactly.
It's beautiful. Okay, the other thing I want to talk about is how many of you have heard of the aroma touch massage or aroma touch technique? This is it's another tool in my tool belt as a wife, as a mother, as a human. That it's a way for me to serve my family, and it is amazing at helping with stress. So there's 8 different oils in, if you get the whole kit, it just comes in a whole kit. And I love it because you also get access to the training to be able to do this massage. It's just a back massage and a foot massage with these oils. And you don't even have to be a massage therapist. You don't have to be an expert. My husband, who does not do this massage technique right, but he can put the oils on. It's phenomenal. You will sleep better. You manage your stress better. It helps support your immune system. So it helps really strengthen you if you have things going on or if you had things going on. It helps with that healthy inflammatory response. So think pain, inflammation, joints, other types of inflammation going on in your body. It helps to create homeostasis in your body. And all those oils, most of those oils that are in this kit were some of the top 10 that we talked about. So we have your balance we talked about, for stress, lavender's in there, the tea tree oil, immune boosting, oregano, On Guard, immune boosting. Then you have Deep Blue, which we talked about for pain and inflammation. There's the Aroma Touch actual massage oil in there, which is great for inflammation, great for headaches, migraines, joints, arthritis. And then you have peppermint, which was, again, another one of those top 10 oils and focus. And then wild orange is my happy oil. So you come with those and you don't have to just use them for the massage technique, but you'll have those for all these other things as well. So, and anybody who purchases that kit, whether you are new to doTERRA and this is like how you start with your doTERRA experience, or if you already have a doTERRA account and you get this kit, that you get free access to, it's the training course to learn how to do the Aroma Touch massage, which is the back massage, but also there's a hand massage, which is phenomenal. I know, Faye, you just said you went to, was it a rest home or retirement home and was doing
Senior center.
senior center.
Senior center. Mm-hmm.
Yep, and doing the hand massage.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so this is a great resource that you have available to you, especially you have loved ones who might need this. I know my kids would always ask, can I have a massage? Can I have a massage? Can I have a massage? And then I finally had to train them so that I could get the massage too. So all of them know how to do the massage and my husband knows how to do the massage, but it is another tool that we can have in our tool belt for dealing with some of these things that we deal with, right?
Yeah.
And there's a power in the connection. So if you do your research on connection, like the physical, in the presence of people, touching, that can help relieve stress, that can help when you're having a hard time. So that's why I love doing that for my kids and my husband, is because it created that connection and helped not just the oils, but in another way, right? So we have that power as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd like to add something because stress was one of the reasons I got involved with doTERRA. And what I've noticed is using these oils consistently over time. So some of the stress ones like balance, adaptive, I use daily. And what I have noticed over time is that my stress response is different. Like we came in to doTERRA shortly after the whole financial meltdown and had just tons of stress. And I was so overwhelmed. And I noticed, like with COVID and all the issues with that, my response was so much different. And so it's really kind of nice to know that, yes, you get immediate effects from using it, but also what it's doing is helping to actually rebalance your system and actually change how you respond. So I really encourage anyone dealing with stress and overwhelm to think of using these as a daily support instead of just when a situation arises. And you'll just find your mood levels out. It's really nice.
Yeah. It's, I'd have to say the same thing, right? Like our experience through COVID was actually, we think of it as like a great time. You're like, oh, kids aren't at school, we're together and we're getting along and we have these things and we have tools also for our immune support. So we weren't fearing some of the things that others, and we had connection, right? Because we were together. So for us in our mind, like, oh, that was like a couple of years of awesomeness. But then also realizing like the world is in like suffering from that still, right? From the disconnection, from the scare, from the stress. And now we're in like a financial bind,
Yes.
right? That like it continues. But even though those things are there, we can inwardly experience them differently. That like we manage better and knowing the tools, right? Whether we're learning new skills of maybe just breathing and calming ourselves or taking supplements, getting enough hydration, using essential oils in different ways, like journaling, right? Getting enough sleep. Like these things impact our lives and how we deal with things. And what's interesting is that when we reduce the amount of stress, not like the outside stress, but how we feel it, we actually show up different in the world. So during this financial like challenge, if we are not feeling so overwhelmed and stressed because we have good habits in place, because we have tools to deal with that, we'll show up differently. And it can be an opportunity for you to grow in new ways. It can be an opportunity for like if finances are hard, if you're not feeling so stressed, if you're hopeful and you're moving forward, it can become like the best time of your life. Like some of the greatest things have come out of those financial hardships when people saw them as an opportunity, right? I know a lot of people have come and joined us. We have what's called our Wellness Collective, and that's where we help educate and teach people how to up-level their health, right? And people are looking for natural ways to take care of their health, but there's also an opportunity to create income. So we have people who are like seeing like, oh, there's a need. Like people want natural things and I need additional income. And they're seeing that opportunity and they're coming in and they're being helpful to other people, but their income is also increasing. So I love like when we're not so overwhelmed with stress, we can start thinking and seeing things differently and see the opportunities that are out there. So with that being said, because I really like to end on time, for those who don't have a doTERRA account, there's different ways that you can get started. Reach out to the person who invited you. Even if you're watching the replay, just reach out to the person who invited you to attend or watch the replay, and they can help you to figure out like what's the best to do. Because when you get started with essential oils or any products through a wellness advocate, you actually get a free membership so that you can get 25% off. So you get 25% off for a year. So it's like a little coupon for you. So don't just go to doTERRA.com and purchase anything at retail. Make sure you get back to the person who invited you and they can help you to kind of map out what's the best price, what is your budget, what are your priorities, so they can help you get started in not a stressful way, but a helpful way. And with that being said, for those who don't already have a membership with doTERRA, there are some freebies that you can have access to. I just want you to be aware of them. And there's a promo code that you want to get access to. It's called the Silver Club promo code. And you just want to reach out to the person who's helping you to get that code to put it in when you check out. Because you can get essentially a free lavender touch roller bottle, you could get a free citrus bliss roller bottle, and you can get a free diffuser. So with 100 PV order, you get the free lavender. With 150, you get the lavender and a free diffuser. Or instead of the diffuser, you could choose one of these two options. That's a new thing. And then with a 200 PV order, you get all of those for free, or you can substitute the diffuser for one of those two. But just be aware of that. And then also coming up in April, you want to be aware of this because we are doing, it's our Up Level 21. This is a 21-day challenge to help you to get the habits in place that will help you with stress, will help you with weight, will help you with energy, will help you like with a lot of maybe the health challenges you're dealing with or emotional challenges you're dealing with. And there's an opportunity to win surprises So the first place winner gets $1,000, and you can see that there. But there's just 7 daily habits that we track, and we do this together. So if you're wanting to learn more about that, just kind of stay tuned, stay in the loop, because we will be sharing how you get started with that April 1st. Super fun. Okay, so let's do a giveaway. And I do want to give a shout, like if anybody wants to host a class, either one like online like this with your friends and family, you can get a free keychain with all these top 10 oils, or you can choose your oils if you want, for hosting that class. And a class, you know, like 3 to 5 people, nothing huge. And it can be online Zoom, or it can be in person. So if you want the Shinrin Yoku, if you want the oils to be like put on your neck and rubbed in, and so you can experience them, just know you can host a class. And what I love is that people are longing for connection. So being able to invite your friends and family to come into your home, spend some time together, learning some good skills and tools that can be helpful. It's just fun. So just know that's available. You can talk to the person who invited you if that's something you're open to. Okay, giveaway time. To enter the giveaway, you just need to fill out this, and I'll tell you what the giveaway is, but I need to get it in here. In the chat, there is a form to fill out. So if you'll click on that form and you'll just answer the questions, I will pull up from that. So whoever fills it out will be entered into the giveaway. And I just need to pull it up. And what I'm giving away is it's adaptive touch. So this is stress, anxiety, essential oil. You will just use it as a roller. You can put it on like perfume. It smells great, but you can use it anytime. Just have it in your pocket, have it available. This is like your go-to stress thing. So I'm giving that away to someone who's on live. So go ahead and fill out your form, and I need to find the form, Stace. Go. Let's see. Anything else? Any other questions? Well, I don't, it's hard to fill out and talk or answer questions at the same time. I'll let you do that.
Allison asked if all the oils are safe for kids.
Yes, but here's what we do with kids. So depending on what size they are, we always just recommend you dilute, because doTERRA's oils are very potent, right? We don't need a lot. So for an adult, like just, I don't know, 100 pounds or more, usually like 1 to 3 drops would be a dose for an adult. And so we do have, and I can get you, it's just kind of a guide for diluting. I never follow it because I just kind of guesstimate. And like I said, I have 6 kids, have used them, some of them since they were pre-born. But you, like if you're gonna put it on topically, I recommend you dilute, and you can just take like fractionated coconut oil. I usually just will squirt some in my hand, and then I'll put a drop of oil, and then I'll test it on like a sensitive part of my body. So usually like my neck. And if it feels fine on my neck, then I'm usually good to go to put it on children. Now, if it's an infant, I always say the feet are a good place to put it. You can rub it, massage it into their feet, put on their socks, just so that they're not like putting the oils in their eyes. If you're putting on their tummy, of course, you can just cover them back up with their clothes on their little sore bum. If you have older kids, like toddlers on up, teenagers, depending on their size, you might just treat them like an adult. But when it's mostly topical, when you're putting it on topically, don't be afraid to dilute. You're not diluting the potency, like the ability of what it can do. It actually keeps more captive on your skin, so more is actually absorbed. But if there's a sensitivity, because some of them are hot, like oregano, you definitely want to dilute that. On guard, you want to dilute that.
Yeah. And we also have the kids line, which is already diluted.
Yeah, so they're already diluted in like roller bottles like this.
Yeah. And they tend to have oils that are, I don't know, what would you say, like less pungent, or like, they're just milder oils.
Yeah, it's still super effective. Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I have Janice, Joanne, Lily, Laura, and no, not Laura, because that was from a different class. So I have Lily, Joanne, and Janice. Is there anybody else filling that out? That raise your hand if you want me to wait for a second.
Nikki? No?
I don't have hers yet, or Allison if you wanted to, or Linda.
Can you resend it again? Because it keeps kicking me off. I think it might be just my my connection. I don't think it's letting me do both.
Darn it. I mean, I'll just put it in the chat, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I was okay.
Here,
Linda,
I can copy it in the chat. Nope,
okay. Well,
didn't work.
no stress. I put it in WhatsApp. Any other questions while we're waiting just one more minute? I have a lot of On Guard. It's one of my favorite. I carry the roller bottlet at work. That's awesome. Yeah. Like who knows what you're going to be around. Okay, I'm going to give you 30 more seconds, Lily.
I had a question.
Yes, Lily.
On your Shinrin Yoku,
Yes.
on the little the slide that you showed us, using the diffuser, there were several other oils listed.
Mhm.
Do you put those other oils as well, or can you just use the Shinrin Yoku?
You can just use the Shinrin Yoku. It is like a blend of different things. So you can just use that straight. That was just if you wanted to have like a different smell.
Okay.
We have some fabulous people in doTERRA who love to create diffuser blends.
Okay, I was just
No,
curious.
you do
'cause
not have
did-
to do that. Yeah.
Okay, just curious. Thank you.
Because I think they just play around with them all day long or something and they discover these like cool blends. Like if you mix wintergreen and there's one that's called Citrus Bliss together, it smells like root beer. Like who would have thought those two together smell like root beer? So they'll put out, different diffuser blends, but just know doTERRA puts them blended together. You can just use it just like that. Yes. Okay. I think we're going to do the stop sharing my screen. And where is the little giveaway thing? Allison, you got in. Okay. Well, I have Lily, Joanne, Janice, and Allison. I don't know if Nikki wanted to put out or not, but we are going with it. So I will pull up my random.org. And put in the number 4. And it generates the number 3. Who was number 3? Number 3 was Janice. Janice, you are the winner of the adaptive roller bottle.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
You're welcome. And so I think this bottle is coming just in time for a house to sell.
There you go.
Yes. And while we were online, I just got a notification. We have a showing tomorrow morning. So I got to start getting ready.
Get diffusing something. It helps people defuse wild orange. It is the oil of abundance. So when people walk in there, they're like, oh my gosh, I have so much money. I just want to pay for this house.
Well, not only
That'd be
that,
great.
it just makes them feel good. And it's like, wow, I like how this house feels. It works.
It does. Yes, we have, real estate agents who use diffusers in there. It impacts like their emotional connection to the house. So
Yes.
Yeah, we definitely sold our house with a wild orange.
I will give that a try. Let me tell you anything.
All right. Hey guys. Well, thanks everybody for joining. We'll get back to you if according to your form, whatever, if you need help, just know you have people to reach out to. And we do have our Facebook group. If you're not in there, the Wellness Collective, make sure you get connected there. And that's where we announce everything.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody.
Thanks everybody for
everyone.
coming. See
Bye.
you, Joel. See you, Erica.